chapter 18, we'll start at verse 12. This is a unique lesson. I won't be long. It's not very big. Here you've got a father-in-law who comes to Moses along his side, and he's able to see what God's done in his life, in his son-in-law's life, and he rejoices for what God's done in his life. Verse 12. Jethro took a burnt offering and sacrifice for God, and Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law. You'd almost think, and it would indicate that Jethro was actually thanking God for all that God had done in the life of Moses. And God sure did a lot in the life of Moses. Jethro begins to observe Moses in his ministry and his leadership. And the next day, Jethro becomes a consultant to Moses, and he offers him some good common sense advice and wisdom. You can get used to doing something for so long and think it's the best way. I've been there, I've done that. It's a routine. It's got you strapped, but somebody else is able to come along and say, you ever thought about doing it this way?
Yeah, amen. And
it becomes a better idea, especially coming from somebody that's got a little bit of wisdom in their older age. Verse 13. It came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to thy people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning until evening? So as Moses is doing instruction to how many? Couple million people.
Yeah.
There's no chain of command there. You got one person they're looking to.
Right.
Jethro's watching this. He's watching Moses take a seat as Israel's judge. And look how Jethro responds in verse 17. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. That statement took courage to say to Moses. That's who the people of Israel looked up to. Don't you wish somebody could go to our White House and offer that same thing?
Amen.
Think about the courage, because Moses, he wasn't elected.
No.
He was chosen by God.
That's right, amen.
And for you to go make a statement by somebody, or to somebody that's chosen by God, you better be right.
Amen.
It's courage because Moses had led the Israelites through the Red Sea. Who can tell him anything? It struck a rock, water gushed out. God had performed a multitude of miracles through Moses. But yet Jethro said, This thing thou doest isn't good. It takes courage to counsel a strong leader, but it works when it's godly counsel. I've heard preachers say it. This church could never succeed without courage, without strong leadership. It's not going to do it. Richard will humbly tell you all the time that he depends on certain people of this church. Depends on Ronnie, depends on Zach, depends on the teachers. But you know, all of us have a job to do. Not everybody's a singer.
Right.
Not everybody's a teacher. The person that gets here early and opens that door up before church is just as important.
Amen.
This church is always spotless. Whoever cleans it does an immaculate job. You drive by here in the summer, the grass looks like West Point. It's never out of order. You got to thank those people too.
That's right.
Amen.
And a good leader, I found this out for 27 years. You don't surround yourself by a bunch of yes men.
No.
It's easy to do. If you're egotistical, you want everybody to agree with you. I've had leadership I have made decisions where people under my command changed my mind. And I remember having a conversation about that at some point with a ranking member. And he told me I was wrong in doing that. He said, you're a rank, you don't let somebody change your mind. Well, if their idea is better, I don't care if you're a cadet.
Amen.
I don't care who you are, I'll go with it, especially if it involves safety. Jethro wasn't afraid to give counsel. He's not afraid to give counsel because he spent 40 years with Moses on the backside of the desert, because Moses actually worked for him. Jethro knew what his strengths were, and he knew what his weaknesses were. And he just wanted to say, what he's trying to tell Moses here, your answer, over 2 million people are answered to you. You're trying to take all this in on yourself. You're going to wear down. And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter that they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. You've got to have people to help bear a burden. Jethro told Moses, it's going to be a lot easier this way. Share the help. Pick yourself some men of God that can help carry the load. I like what D.L. Moody said. He said he'd rather get 10 men to do a job than for him to do the job of 10 men.
Yeah.
That's wisdom.
Amen.
Verse 23, if thou shalt do this thing and God command thee, so then shalt thou be able to endure, and all the people shall also go to their places in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he said. And Moses chose able men out of all of Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, rulers of 10s. So the Bible tells us that Moses actually listens to his father-in-law. He humbled himself to the father-in-law. He could have had that attitude, hey, God's done all this for me.
Yeah.
I brought him this far. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. Been around that crew too.
Yeah.
Numbers 12:3 says Moses was more humble than any man on the earth when he died. For all that God had done in his life, that's a good statement.
Yeah.
Because you can get that attitude that I've done all this. Moses chose able men and made them leaders of thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s. Minor disputes, the able men judged. But the major ones, they came to Moses, just like his father-in-law instructed. They had to be able to distinguish whether a caravan was carrying food, supplies, spices for business or trade. They had to recognize whether an animal was loaded down with goods or military weapons, whether they were coming for the good or whether they were coming for an evil reason. If a watchman saw trouble, talking about Nehemiah, they worked with a sword in their hand.
They sure did. One worked, the other plays going.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people mocked him.
Yep. And got it done in what, 52 days?
52.
52 days. That's a miracle in itself. If a watchman saw trouble coming, he had to be able to alert the city that something evil was headed their way. The city had to be able to prepare to defend itself. That's what Moses, some of his helpers were going to do. If the enemy got too close to prepare to defend itself, it's too late. The city would suffer. It wasn't a way to remain vigilant for hours at a time. If the watchman failed to do his job, then their home, their town, their children, the families would suffer the consequences. I'm almost done. I don't have a whole lot for this. That's what we as a church, everybody in here can have a job.
Come on.
Not everybody in here, as I said again, sings. I can't sing. do well to teach. I consider myself the least of these, but, we all have a job to do.
Amen.
Being a watchman is one of them. We help each other out that way.
It's very important, Andy.
Iniquities abounding everywhere. Never seen anything like it. It's hard to get people to love each other right now. It gets worse and worse. Ephesians 6:13 says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand." That's the only thing we're asking here this morning, is to take a stand.
Amen.
Bless you all.